Globalization is the developing interdependence of culture, information, and the world's economy, whether that is by trade, technology, or investment. Information has the fastest exchange rate in our growing society. Technology has grown exponentially in the last 2 decades. Social media is one of these advantages of globalization and new technology. Social media has given the world a new outlet of expression. With expression comes the freedom of speech. Yes, free speech applies to social networking sites like Facebook. In our current environment, not only dealing with the pandemic, but also dealing with quarantine and not being able to go outside as much or spend as much time as we can with our loved ones, we are forced to be in contact virtually. Therefore, it leads to our over-ending, sometimes oversharing of information. So now we have to figure out different ways to communicate with each other, which could just be a Facebook post, a Zoom call, different way of teaching or speaking to someone. We might even we are even sending letters once again, like we stopped doing. We send emails constantly every day. We are so used to oversharing our information in our daily life. So it's just easy enough to do now in a time of COVID. Freedom of speech is a luxury given to Americans through the United States Constitution. It reads as, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. This is the First Amendment of the Constitution, the first part of our Bill of Rights. Since such luxuries are not affordable to other countries, it is unsurprising that the social media giants of our age are American-based companies such as Facebook. Americans are allowed to freely speak their minds in every facet. Social media, by far, has the largest capacity. Our news media giants follow our never-ending social media giants. Like the press, social media's news cycle is 24/7. You can't turn it off, meaning misleading information, hate speech, and community movements is sprinkled into our everyday lives. We have seen the progressing movements arise from social media, like the Black Lives Matter movement and the Me Too movement. Those are consistently trending topics across all platforms. On the flip side, xenophobic, misogynistic groups also use the same platforms. Social media is a tool used for the most updated information because it happens in real time. There is no need for us to wait till the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock news. We can easily just click an app on our phone and there we go. We know exactly what's going on halfway across the country. There was a time where the only way to find out about an event happening was through the newspaper or of nightly and morning news cycles. We have seen nightly news cycles become 24/7. There is no stop, and it can easily be overwhelming. Today, that information is at our fingertips in seconds. In order to apply free speech to social media, we need to fully accept it. Sadly, that means the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hate speech, lies, and racism are a gray area that we haven't yet figured out. Hate speech in the United States is not regulated. In contrast to that, in contrast to other liberal democracies, due to the First Amendment, the right of free speech found in our Constitution. Yet the Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that hate speech is legally protected under the First Amendment. This is only taken into account when threats have taken place or words are directly used to incite danger or harm, which includes content that directly attacks people based on their race, ethnicity, national origin, religious affiliation, sexual orientation, sex, gender, or gender identity, or serious disabilities or diseases. However, freedom of speech comes with its responsibilities. With recent events in the last presidential election, social media giants with governmental warnings are now being held accountable for what their users say. Social media is a great equalizer to the American people. Freedom of speech applies to social network sites like Facebook and Instagram because institutions and organizations can be held accountable. In order for us to continue to move forward, we need to hold these companies accountable. We are all one race, the human race. American luxuries like freedom of speech is a delicate line to walk, and finding balance can be a difficult task. But as long as we realize our differences and realize that there's diversity, there's unity and diversity, and we come together and hold each other accountable for the way that we want to be treated equally, we can go ahead and do this. We can make sure that hate speech gets the proper justification and is ultimately avoided. Thank you.